So once again, good afternoon. This is Kelly Dahlbach, executive business coach, entrepreneur, serial registered dietitian, and business creator. I'm so glad that you joined me today. And if you're watching this replay, I'm glad that you carved out some time to learn more about investing in the future of your profession. See, as we're open to receiving new experiences and learning more about what we can offer this world and truly making an impact, it's so important that we take in information. So there is no time wasted. And I want to say thank you for allowing the time to learn more about what the future of the workforce environment entails, as well as if business ownership could be for you. I am going to share a presentation that we can look at. And if I can put it on presentation mode, I think I have to. There we go. All right. So thanks again for joining today. Today, we're going to talk about the ultimate guide to step into freedom, unleash income potential, and become CEO. Many of you may have seen in prior posts or prior engagements that 50% of the workforce is to be self-employed by 2027. And you're here because you've recognized or resonated with the simple fact that, holy cow, things are changing. And if you're like me, you gotta know you are an innovator. You want to be at the brink of change, not at the circumstance of change. Simply put, epidemics and pandemics don't just come and go. They impact society. And the workforce economy is no different than that. In fact, just a quick history lesson, Robert Owen, British founder of socialism, was actually the founder that we are to shake our finger at for the 8-hour workday, the 9-to-5 workday, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of recreation, and 8 hours of work was his philosophy. But it wasn't actually put into play until 1905 when Henry Ford implemented this business model in the automobile industry, in the Ford factory. And what he did, which was so interesting, I actually just learned this when I was researching this earlier this week, he actually doubled the pay of those that opted in to the 8-hour workday. Hello, golden handcuffs. There they are, right there. So you see years and years and years of compounding a lifestyle. It's no wonder we got to where we were with just assumptions of going to college, assumptions of getting your first job, working up the corporate ladder. But here we are at the evolution of unwinding the corporate handcuffs and the 8-hour workday. And if it's not you and I, it is our children. They will never go back to working in the same environment or under the same conditions that the corporate 9-to-5 was. So today, I will show you how you can blaze your own path as CEO, how to prepare for the shift in the workforce economy to self-employment, how to create stability and growth in your career, and how to uncap your income potential. Does anyone have any ideas of how many streams of income a typical millionaire has? We're not messing around with six figures anymore. The people that are on this phone and the people that decide to take this program and move forward with me, our goal is millionaires. It is not six figures beyond the initial replacement. Anyone have any ideas? 7 streams of income. The 7 streams of income are typically dividend incomes from stock owns, earned incomes from paychecks, rents from real estate, royalties, and selling rights. So this could actually be considered, I feel, because I have multiple, I wouldn't say royalties, but it's profit sharing from affiliate marketing connections that I have that I've both built into my program to share with my network, as well as health, beauty, and wellness, plant-based supplements. So these are not necessarily royalties in the traditional sense, but there is an additional way to add products and services of value to your community after you build it. Referral sources, referral fees, referral, again, it's all on the basis I think of as under the big umbrella of network traditional marketing. Capital gains from selling appreciated assets and profits from their own business. As those are the 7 ways or 7 typical streams to become a millionaire. How many in there was the paycheck? 1. So if you have the paycheck as the primary asset of investment for your future wealth, it is not going to typically get you to the $1 million mark. So I'm here to share how we can build our own business so that you have the freedom to invest and create the millions that we all deserve as humans that are working to make an impact on humanity. Next, I have with me a client, Liz Kentner. I'm going to invite her on screen, just one moment. And she's going to share with us a little bit about what she has, what's transpired in her life from corporate executive to business owner, and also a little bit about what it's like to work with me. Go ahead, Liz. Let me see if I can switch you to.
There we go.
There you go.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Oh man, so it's been quite a journey. Kelly, thank you so much for having me on. And I'm actually getting ready to run, literally go run. So in the middle of the day, like how cool is that? It's 1 o'clock and I get to go do what I love. So I was in the healthcare profession, and that's how I met Kelly. Kelly and I worked for a corporate respiratory equipment company together in the corporate world, doing what we do. And I've had the pleasure of watching her do what she does best, and that's build businesses. And I watched her do it for other people for the last 16 years. They would pass Kelly, here's a new line of business. We want to see it grow, see what you can do with it. And like that, she would have it making millions in no time. So I was super excited to hear that she was going to be able to help other people do the same thing. And over the last 5 years, I've been in this space of just really not knowing what I wanted to do with my life, but knowing that I needed to leave corporate America. And it wasn't just like overnight, I just got there. I look back and it was a progression of things that happened, from quitting my job to starting real estate to then realizing maybe real estate wasn't it, and then following my passion to do health and wellness and do fitness training. And here I am, fast forward with Kelly's help, doing everything and beyond, way beyond what I thought I would be doing. And it's happened in a matter of four months. It's just been a whirlwind. So Kelly gave me this foundation, this rock of calmness. First of all, I think her spiritual intuition of just being able to say, Liz, I need you to just ask some really probing hard questions for some self-reflection to say, no, I can do this, right? Because, and that's the biggest thing that held me back, was not believing in myself. Kelly also has this natural ability to be able to just see a business. I think her superpower, and I know she'd agree, would be that sales and marketing aspect, and be able to see a business and say, oh my gosh, look at all these different streams of revenue that we could have for you, and referrals coming in, and how you can partner with other people and do things that you probably wouldn't even think of. And that's kind of, we had many Zoom calls with many people trying to just put different pieces of the puzzle together from a sales perspective. And then now here I am, I've been interviewed on multiple media outlets, been in different articles, national platforms. I've been invited to be on a platform of professionals in the fitness world to give actual input into a training program, which is super exciting for me. But all in all, really Kelly's, I mean, I wish I had all the words to put into how great Kelly can be when it comes to guiding somebody through the process of transitioning, and not just the transition, but then the foundation of the actual physical things of what, how do I bill somebody? How do I take credit card, and how do I invoice them? And how do I do all these other things that I never thought about because they were just a part of the package when I worked for another company? And she has it right there for you. So that's
thank you, Liz.
That's pretty much
it. Have been a dream client. Literally, your strength emotionally and physically has always been something to lift me up and say, you got this. You've got, you know, the weight of others and the weight of the fitness world really at your back now. And Liz is being very humble about the success that she's having, but also the impact that she's making. And that Liz has actually developed a CrossFit training program for adults and children with disabilities and is really making a wave. And those are the people, and we're going to talk about the people that I really am desiring to attract in partnership with my business. But those are the types of people and individuals that I want to support in making a difference in the world. All right, so back to the slides here. Thanks, Liz. What we're covered today, promise number one, mindsets that are holding you back from becoming a CEO, right? Some of the things that we think about, like, how am I ever going to stand out? How do I create a category of Kelly or a category of Liz or a category of Susie? There are ways that you stand out amongst the sea, just like I did if you're here today. Promise number two, common mistakes that CEOs make that keep them from being successful. I will cut to the chase and I will get you answers of why I've seen businesses fail, not only in terms of entrepreneurs, but over the years of my career and where and why I've seen businesses fail and why I've been brought in many times to save them. Promise number three, 5 critical steps to transition from corporate executive to business owner. So why you'll want to stay. There's no pitch. There's nothing being sold at the end. If you're simply interested in learning more about my program, I'll invite you to book a discovery call. But this is about you. This is about helping you realize the information that you came here to gather. Something inside you told you wanted to learn more about what it was like to own your own business. So you're here and you're the reason I'm here. It'll be jam-packed with value and information. And at the end, if you stick around, there will not only be a drawing for a free leadership assessment for someone that's attended today, but also Q&A hot seat coaching, where you'll get to ask me anything under the sun about business ownership and the transition I've made from corporate executive to business owner. So my goal for you today is to walk away and finally answer, okay, am I a little less intimidated that this is for me? Kelly's been like me. She's been where I've been. I've seen other peers on the call today that are also healthcare professionals or in the traditional 9-to-5, and they're making a run at becoming CEO because not only do they want their freedom back, they truly want to create generational wealth for themselves as well as their families. One thing that I thought about that still gets me, honestly, a little choked up when I think about it is, you can't give your job to your children, but you can give them a business. And it's one of the biggest drivers that gets me up to do what I do every day. And that is generational wealth. I don't want my children to feel like they have to give up or trade their happiness for their job. And we'll talk also why is today the right time to become a business owner. So this is going to be for you. If you are a corporate executive that feels stagnant, unfulfilled, or exhausted from your corporate job, you feel like you're working for a paycheck as a means to an end. How many of you guys have a financial advisor? I have to tell the story of my husband's uncle that I met, and I met him, I don't know, several years ago, probably 10 years ago. And I think the first time I met him, I saw him and I went to his home and he had this long clock on his desk, something to the tune of like 9,000 days or something. I said, Uncle Mike, what is that clock? And he said, well, Kelly, that's my retirement clock. And he said, every day he goes to work, he gets to take a couple of days off of it. And if you see him today, he's really close to the end of that clock. But every day he worked with the stress for the intention for a means to an end. So it's up to you. You can work that way, or you can create a new way. And if you have an innate calling to serve and an innate time to make an impact in the world, now is the time. There is a shift in the raising of the consciousness of the human race that is allowing kindness, powerful networking, and self-alignment to drive our career choice. Not for, and I'll be really transparent about this a couple of times during our time here today, is for people that want a magic bullet. Employees looking for a new job. Results are not typical. My clients put in work, just like I put in work over the last 18 months making this transition. It's after hours, it's before hours, and it is a transition and work, both physically as well as emotionally. But in the end, it's worth it. So who am I? I'm a registered dietitian by training. You guys can see outside. I love water. I live in Central Florida. I love to boat, paddleboard, fish, hike. That's who I am. I'm a nature lover and a foodie, also fitness and nutrition novice. I'm currently training for a couple triathlons and enjoy the feeling of feeling good in mind, body, and spirit. I'm an executive business coach by training, and I'm helping corporate executives step into a more powerful role as CEO and blaze their own path. I've been known over the course of my career for uncovering potential in both individuals and building empires from scratch. The big question everyone asks me is, how is it possible to start a business while working full-time? Well, it's not possible if you don't have partnership. It's not possible that I've seen, at least in the transition of a 6 to 12 month period, I've seen anyone successfully go from a 6-figure income to a 6-figure business. So you've been sold on the corporate job makes the most sense. It's the most secure, but you have that business owners have unpredictable streams of revenue. Well, I can tell you that if you're going to work with me, we'll get to a point where we've got to have predictable streams of revenue, or at least a sales funnel to predict streams of revenue that will allow us to move forward in your transition of corporate executive to business owner and CEO. The next one, if you're shooting yourself, one of my colleagues and good friends, Jen, she always says, I'm shooting all over myself. And it's just something that sounds funny when it comes out, but it's true. I got to the end of my corporate career and my next move is C-suite. And I looked around and I said, wow, okay, I'm just about there. But I've had 11 promotions over the course of my career, all net new positions based off of growth and growth trajectory. And now I'm going to what I would assume the final one, and I still feel the same. I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel like I'm helping the right people. And so I decided that I was no longer going to put the job before my family, before my values, and I am going to find out how to become very wealthy while not doing what everyone said I should be doing. And then I'm going to teach others to do it. That was my decision. If not, you're stuck there and you're amongst peers. Look next to you, look above you, look around you on a Zoom screen. I bet every single one of those individuals, because they are where they are telling you the same thing. You're reverberating the same idea and mindset about opening a business. You're stuck without a solution to take action. So I've spent the last 16 years building my formula of success. I've built over $100 million in annualized organic revenue over the course of my career in startups, medium-sized backed PE firms that have gone through transactions, and Fortune 500 companies. I've helped clients as well as companies build empires in definitely every state, probably most major cities across the United States. And what I will tell you is the single most constant thing was variability, flexibility, and adaptability. You can have the same business. You cannot have the same business in every market, for every demographic, for every product line, for every service line. The secret and the foundation is the same, but the recipe and the specific strategies, like Liz had said, that the marketing, the sales, the business development, the channels of how it's going to grow and expand is what my secret sauce is for business development success. How do I know it's worked? Well, I'm standing here before you as a business owner and also with a resume of over 110 business lines. My methodology works for all types of businesses. Healthcare, retail, coaching, health, wellness. There's interesting pet market, the pet market and the animal market, and all of the things that go along with people and pets, the medical care, the insurance, the grooming. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I'm sharing this because I was so mesmerized by the amount of billions and trillions of dollars going into that market. And when I was talking, I'm always interested in new and up and coming business models. And there's so much so much opportunity. At the end of the day, it's a need. You're serving a need or solving a problem. And that's the basis of the methodology for all types of business, because this is your business, your vision, and your freedom. So how do you replicate or exceed your corporate income while doing work you actually love? I'm going to pause there for a minute, and I just want to ask individuals in the audience here who has an idea, because some people come to me and they say, I don't have a passion. I don't have a purpose. I don't have a desire. I don't have a business idea. Well, you're here learning, one, about how to do it. The other things are, the internet's at our fingertips, and I consistently look up different business ideas. I just shared with you the pet market and the awesome innovation over there. So I want to just pause and ask, what would light your heart on fire if you could replace your six-figure salary today and go out and share that with you, this gift with the world? Any takers? Come on, guys. I know you've got it in you. Know that if you put this out there, this is your first step in sharing the next step of becoming CEO. Okay, keep going. You must find your passion in innovation. And why people are doing that right now and in what type of numbers? 5.4 million new business applications were filed in 2021, surpassing the record of 4.4 million in 2020. This is from the US Census Bureau. This is not just from, I say it's not a Kellyism. There's no downside to a side hustle, and there are only benefits of building more than one source of income. I shared with you the 7 primary sources of income in and around where most millionaires start. But this is the trajectory. This is the trend. And I will tell you that it's about solopreneurs. It's about side hustles. It's about real estate investment. It's about diversifying your wealth strategy. But corporations can and will be part of that. Corporations will have no choice but to find the talent that they need to find in order to succeed. So I've seen corporations come and to the independent market and look for the individuals that they seek. They don't necessarily care. I say that in quotes at this point because it's still new, but I know from speaking with peers and large Fortune 500 companies in different markets, from healthcare to drug development, they're trying to figure out right now how to source independent talent in their corporate infrastructure. And that goes, to me, it's nothing more or less than a financial model, right? But you're going to have this human transition from, well, if I'm independent talent and Michelle is over there and she's a full-time employee, what does that mean? So there'll be probably more dynamic around managing that component. But I will tell you, at the end of the day, for big corporations, profit speaks, and people will find ways to source the talent that they need. It's projected in 2027 that 86.5 million people will be freelancing in the United States and will make up 50% of the total workforce. This is really important, guys, because this again goes to the dynamic of the changing mentality in both your mind as well as the employers. And it goes from shifting the control of the employers to the control of the employee. And it's if you think about it and you have a high enough level of intention, it's not about control, it's really about partnership. There's 32.5 small businesses in the United States, which actually makes up over 99% of the small businesses. And here comes, the average person spends 1/3 of their life at work, 90,000 hours. So guys, it's not a matter of if corporate executives are going to start their business. It's a matter of who's next. I take discovery calls on a daily basis. I see the statistics. I share the statistics. It is a movement, and it's up to you to decide where you are in that movement. And I've said it in the beginning, I'll say it now, and I'll say it at the end. If you are meant to be a leader in corporate America, do it. Do it because you now know that you are not meant to be an independent business owner, and do it with the same force and the same intention and the same beautiful heart that you would in any other way. The problem is, or the challenge is right now, we're in such a place of transition that nobody really knows, but you're taking one step further. The reason that people change businesses or change from corporate executive, here's the top 3 reasons. Number 1, they want to be their own boss, right? That's an easy one. Number 2, they are running away from corporate America. And I always say, and it's a deep part of my discovery call, is are you running towards something or are you running away from something? So it's really important that you answer that question for yourself. And number 3, they're following a passionate or a purpose and making an impact in the world to serve others. Those are the 3 big reasons that people leave from corporate America to become a business owner. So if any of those are yours, own that and explore that. Because becoming a CEO is the ultimate path to freedom. And this is my favorite part. It authentically allows you to be you. No one gave me this script. No one told me what to say. I did the inner work to see where I was being called to serve. Then I did I call it the IQ and the EQ. And I did the research to find the need. I did the market analysis, and I'm here in front of you today sharing my secret formula for success in this transition. This is where I'm meant to be. I'm doing it authentically. I'm doing it pretty much off script, lack of rehearse, because I know it. It's who I am. It's in my heart. And people can feel that. And when you're connecting with your audience and people can feel that you're truly there to bring value and help solve a problem, that is when they begin to know, like, and trust. So a lot of what you will learn and what you will do is understanding who you are authentically. You'll lead by example. You'll have absolutely no salary cap. I can't tell you the investments that I plan to make with the income streams of my business. My business is actually LLC, a new wellness. This division I'm running right here, right now, is a new business coaching. This is one of my planned streams of income. I'm serving a purpose bigger than myself, and I'm doing it with the intention to create millionaires on the side of kind-hearted people that want to make an impact in the world. I have met more millionaires and more tens of millions of millionaires on this side of the business. I met a few wealthy CEOs and board members while I was at corporate, but nothing like what I'm beginning to align with here. And I share that with you because I believe so wholeheartedly in the power of networking and the power of what a powerful network can bring. So my connections are your connections. And anyone that I vet, that I work with, that I believe can bring tools or training or value to my audience, I will absolutely share with enthusiasm, because together we're stronger. I shared that there will never be a better time to start a business. Why? The reason why is really because of the transition in the market. Consumer and client access is high. Everybody is kind of starting over in their buying journey and their customer journey and how to do things. When I think about what I've bought or sold in terms of services or products over the past 3 years, knowing that I was in corporate America last year, my buying habits have significantly changed. I think the only place that I decided, it's pretty much the same as the grocery store. But everything else, from who I talk to how I buy things, it's really built off of trusted relationships. So whether it's one of you that I know here that I'm going to call because, maybe I need a math tutor for my child, or maybe I need a good leadership book, and I look to somebody as a leader, that personal connection and the relationship is how people and how consumer behavior is driven going forward. And each of you here have a background of corporate executives. There is a reason why my program targets corporate executives. It's because you are intelligent, you are driven, and you are more qualified than 95% of the job market. And that is why I want to work with you. And I want to tell you that by working with a system, with a strategy, with your skill set, has no other option than being successful. You've all been successful in your careers thus far. Why would this be any different? All right, my story. I'll keep it brief, but a lot of people want to know, what was the triggering moment? Am I going to get this big aha moment that says, okay, I'm doing this? You don't have to. I will share that, transitions can look a lot of different ways. It can look anywhere from a layoff to quitting a position, to starting a side hustle, to just exploring. I'm kind of an all or nothing person. And I say that as I laugh a little bit, because I know that about myself, yet I often forget that about myself. And I decided to make a cut in my role from corporate executive to business owner last summer. But after 16 years of climbing the corporate ladder as a healthcare executive, I was consistently the youngest executive in the boardroom for my entire career. I reported to a COO of a Fortune 500 company with over 12,000 employees at the age of 29. I was managing over 600 people and $200 million in annualized revenue. It didn't matter. I didn't know how I got to those boardrooms. All I knew is I couldn't wait to get out of that boardroom so I could go back in the field, work with my team, and help them get more business. That is what mattered. And when the further I got in my career, I realized that my greatest strength was also my greatest weakness, and that it allowed me to fall into a place of entrapment by my employers. And I say that with no regrets, because if I didn't have the experience and the skill set of what I acquired over the last 16 years, I couldn't bring that skill set to serve who I'm meant to serve now. But in 2020, I had to conduct a reduction in force to my key employees, my entire team, with the exception of one. I was killing myself for my job, and I realized that they chose my department because they knew I could rebuild it the fastest. Can anyone resonate with that? Who gets all of the cleanups? Who gets all of the messes from the core workers? Who gets, the crap that nobody else can handle? That was me. And when it came to literally laying off all of these people that I had just hired from my personal professional network, I said, okay, no more, because that's not how I would have done it. But I wasn't CEO, and I wasn't, the only decision maker at that time. So I decided to get a plan and figure out how to make my transition realistic, right? I kind of said I was all or nothing. I jumped in with both feet, but I did have a plan. I had a blueprint. I had an idea of what I was going to do. I did, and I'm still doing the hardest work, which is the mindset reframe. I leveraged my skills. I looked at what am I doing that's in the top 1% of corporate executives or entrepreneurs? Where is no one going to compete with me? I found those superpowers, and then I decided to invest in myself. I did. I decided to just hedge my bets and invest in myself as my strongest asset. Now I'm leading a service and a life dedicated to serving others, finding the same. Surrounding myself with a powerful network. I will tell you that I have people that I talk to day in and day out. What am I going to do to succeed today? What are they doing to succeed today? And I'm putting the positive affirmations. I know we talk mindset until our eyes and ears are blue, guys, but mindset, attitude, and beliefs are the most key components of making this transition successful. You can go talk to someone about this transition or this transformation and say, I'm thinking about opening a gym. I'm thinking about opening an ice cream shop with my grandma's recipe. You can go talk to people about this, and you will come out fueled at a scale of 1 to 10, 10 hearts on fire if you talk to a room full of successful entrepreneurs, and 10 thumbs down emojis, whatever emoji you want to use on that, 10 thumbs down if they are not a successful entrepreneur. So realize and recognize that entire mind shift has to do with who you surround yourself with and what you feed your mind. All right, we're moving into the meat of the presentation, which is the promise 1, 2, and 3. The first promise is the mindsets. And we're talking about the deeply rooted mindsets that are holding you back. And these come from perhaps some of you that I've talked with on this call. They come from messages that I get in all forms, on all social platforms, and in all discussions. I won't be able to replace my corporate income becoming CEO. Where is that coming from? It's not coming from me, because I'm successfully doing that. I've surrounded myself with other people that have done that. I have built over 100 business lines. So it's certainly not coming from me. Where is it coming from? It's coming from the unknown, right? Your ego goes back to what you have done and reverts there. And our ego is a place that is trying to keep us safe, right? And if we don't have all of the facts and the path and the answers, we get pulled back to where we've been, more so than being pulled forward to where we want to go. So you have to anchor to the strategy and operate from a P&L mindset. You find new evidence for what you want to create. Why does this belief have to be true for you? Start with a financial plan. If you want to have a $10,000, $12,000 month, how many clients do you need? Or how many ice creams do you need to sell? Or how many dog grooming services do you need to operate? That is where you start. You work backwards from there, but you have to start with a financial plan. Otherwise it's spray and pray, or sell and hope, fingers crossed. Business is not that. Business is not luck. Business is strategy, focus, mindset, and mechanisms. Limiting belief number 2. My corporate job is secure, and being CEO of my own business is not. Again, who's telling you that? More than likely that your peers, your coworkers, the corporate employees in your network. You're at the mercy of your shareholders and boss that could pivot and reorg at any time. I say I was lucky. I thought I was staying safe by literally killing myself to be in the top 1% of the corporate executives at any of my firms. But I was really lucky that they decided, honestly, not to just whack my division or nix my product line. I mean, that could be changed in reimbursement. Any of my healthcare executives on the call know you can't control healthcare reimbursement. In the days of competitive bidding and in the days of CPT and ICD-10, and they just decided to take a code off the list. I mean, that is major change. That is not personal. It is structural. So just because you think you're safe because you're performing doesn't mean that you're safe from the future of industry pivots. In 2020, 22 million people lost jobs. 2021, 4.3 million left their jobs. And I see my little emoji down there, missed my 2027 or 2022, 68% of people that were surveyed felt more secure being self-employed than being corporately employed. So you tell yourself a new story, you redefine the security, you de-risk the transition. As I mentioned earlier, if you're on this call, you're likely that I have found you because you're an overachiever. You exceed expectations your whole career, but somewhere along the line, you've decided or have the fear that this would be different. This would not be any different as long as you have a plan to succeed. It's too risky to become CEO of my own business. Risk means stops, turn around, or stay where I am. In this intention, you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. You really have to stop and understand that fear is real, but fear is born through the ego. And so if fear is born through the ego, you have to understand that it is literally a reverberation, a part of being human. And if you understand and can separate from your ego and your fear, you recognize that you can move past it or move with it. Fear is really, it plays a vital part in our life. But you have to know where to position it if you're looking to do something you've never done before. Promise number 2, common mistakes CEOs make that keep them from being successful. If you are here waiting for me to ask you a specific question that is going to say, you're hired as business owner, you're hired as CEO. Unfortunately, that question's not going to come because CEOs aren't hired. CEOs are born, decided, made, self-made. That's the word I was looking for. CEOs are self-made. And so you have to decide to become a CEO because nobody's going to appoint the role in your own business. Not making yourself or your role as CEO number one priority. We'll talk a lot about working in a position in your business rather than working on your business. And if you are an operations manager or a sales executive, that's where you tend to lean. I'm a business development just at the heart and core of who I am. So yes, I spend most of my time building relationships, but that doesn't mean that I don't have systems and processes and people to help me with the other aspects of my business because they all need to be there. And if you catch yourself and you catch yourself starting to wonder, well, I really love writing. I love to blog and write content. Knowing that, which we would talk about, knowing that will help you prepare on how to leverage the other components of your business. Lack of credibility and presence online. Guys, this is a no-brainer. If you want to operate a business in 2022, you have to have significant presence online. I was on a webinar earlier today, and what was the statistic? It takes someone 26 times, 26 views, 26 interactions with some message or some content before they take any call to action. Well, think about it. Think about how long I've known any of you. Think about how long it took for us to connect, for us to trust that, we had value to add to each other. And so the posting a couple times a week or, deciding that all needs to be on your plate as opposed to creating a system to do that for you is unrealistic. You have to automate batch content and be present online and offline. Not enough leads in the sales funnel, 1%. 1%. If you think 1%, you will succeed in a marketing and sales funnel. Okay, so if you decide that you're in a business that you need 1,000 customers or 10,000 customers annualized, that's 1% of the actual people you need to reach and talk to and attract. And there are all different ways and all different platforms, and we don't have time to get into the detail of that. But just wrapping your head around those numbers is why most business owners that don't have the business knowledge of what it takes to market and sell don't understand. And so they're underwhelming their presence, both, like I said, online and offline. I'm at conferences in Orlando and Chamber of Commerce lunches often, but I'm also have a presence online, and it's not me every time posting each one of those posts. So I create it in batches and then I schedule it to go live. Success story. Meet one of my clients, Lauren. She's a human resource executive turned leadership coach. If you guys have any experience or know anyone in human resource, it has to be one of the I guess kind of growing this way. What am I trying to say? One of the most expanding categories of business in the age today. And so she was having a hard time and really experienced challenges in deciding which direction and felt stuck in the creation of her business niche. And throughout our coaching sessions and what I would call tactical assignments, the market research allowed her to gain clear perspective of who she wanted to serve and how she wanted to create the signature product to get there. So she had what she needed after working with me, and she was able to rewrite the copy and also further target her ideal client audience after working together. All right, promise number 3, the 5 critical steps to transition from a corporate executive to business owner. We talked about mindset, and I'm just going to touch on it again here because it is the most critical component, guys. I know everybody wants this secret sauce. Everybody wants this special recipe, perhaps a textbook. I'm here to tell you that you cannot learn to operate your business by reading a textbook. It has to start with mindset. And the reason a lot of people have such a hard time with the CEO mindset is because It is so difficult to train our brains that it's okay to fail. It's okay to do things and not succeed. It's okay to do things, try new things that are outside of our comfort zone, not knowing what we're going to learn. And that is the hardest part of the CEO mindset, is doing things we've never done as the first person. CEO mindset will help you establish a financial plan to gain visibility, to remain in your current lifestyle. Going in a CEO mindset and thinking, okay, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start a new business. Thinking if you have to move to a place of lack and, maybe downsize some of your expenses or get rid of some of your luxuries in life is only going to feed that lack mindset from a CEO perspective. So you want to really understand how you can make that transition comfortable for you and your family. You're going to look through the lens of a CEO on the real cost to start your business and the cost to operate your business. I'm happy to share with you both starts for retail type businesses that I've had experience with, as well as my own investment in this business as we move through the budgeting and financial plan to operate a virtual business or a retail with a storefront business. You want to establish a foundation and really truly gain experts in your community and in your team of advisors through financial planners and attorneys. I am not going to pretend to be a financial planner or an attorney or an accountant, but there are aspects of starting a business that, again, going back to wealth strategy, if you have a corporate salary, there may be a tax setup for your business that you want to operate under rather than 1099. There are different components of each business structure that are advantageous at different stages of your business. So it's critically important that you learn those and you're advised by those so that you get the most tax benefit, especially when you're starting your business. 2, nailing your business niche. You want to uncover your superpowers and find your passion. So I had asked you guys earlier and I'd shared with you what mine is, but what can you do in the top 1% of corporate executives? What is that business skill set? Maybe you're a salesperson, maybe you're an accountant, maybe you're an HR executive and can find anybody for any job, or you're able to negotiate. Whatever that skill set is, you want to take that and you want to carry that forward either in your ideal client or as a part of your methodology or how you think about your business, because that is going to be where you add value to your business. When I said you want to work on your business, not in your business, you're going to look at your specific superpowers and make sure that you put your name on all of those components that have that alignment with your superpowers and skill sets. And how are you going to make an impact? Nailing your business niche. This includes the market research. I had shared that I've built over 100 business lines. Many of them were the same in different markets across the US, and many of them had to change based on the recipe, based on the talent that we could get there, the base salary needed, the products available. All of those components are a critical component of market research. And it is the foundation of a successful marketing plan. So market research is something that you can outsource or insource. I personally insourced it. I did it because I was the one providing the services to my clients, but it's a critical component. And if you get market research off, there'll be a whole lot of people that don't know what you're selling or what you're offering. Step 2, nailing your business niche is building credibility. Building credibility and understanding the pain points or solutions that you are offering to your target audience is critically important. You want to update your resume, update your LinkedIn, update your social platforms, either on a business page or on a personal page. You guys may be the business or you may be the CEO of the product or service line. It just depends on what your passionate business idea is. But you have to build credibility. You have to have either personal testimonials, client testimonials, case studies. Leveraging the power of your knowledge is what is going to gain you the trust in your target audience or your ideal clients. All right, step 3, the business plan. This is actually a tangible document that you would create in working with me in the Corporate Executive to Business Owner Strategy or Academy. This is the executive summary, the company description the market analysis and the needs analysis based on your ideal client, your service or product line, your sales, and your financial objectives. This is what secures funding for small business loans. If you're not identifying small business loans as a source of funding, it's still going to serve as a source of funding if you're going to invest in your own business. It is going to be the concept and the facts that you put out to yourself or to your accountant or to your bank for a small business loan that says, here's the research, right? Business is not personal. Business is about numbers, facts, and plans. And so this puts a line in the sand between what Kelly thinks is right and what is actually right, because the research has been done. And this is a component that's missing from a lot of entrepreneurs that are trying to start businesses online. It's the true business plan, because people a lot of times want to do it, on the side or a couple hours here and there, and they start missing targets. When you start missing sales and marketing targets, your costs slip. When your costs slip, then your credibility slips. When your credibility is slipping, it's just, cascading effects. You want to make sure that you have a business plan independent of what you are doing every day to work on your business. Website copy and build. This is when you're building your logo, you're generating copy, your leads capture, your sales funnel. This is the fun part for a lot of people, because this is when you're in your wheelhouse. You get to write the blogs, you get to do webinars, you get to be the expert in your niche audience and share what you know. This is where you get to add value. You can and have different ways of sharing and establishing this credibility through buying keywords online, SEO for blogging, selling advertisements on your site. All of these things are strategies to drive people to trusting you as the brand ambassador. We're getting close to the last component, and I'm just going to move through and make sure that we get everyone out of here, because I'm sure that many of you have meetings at the top of the hour. So mastering the CEO role, the #1 small businesses succeed. Again, I think I've really beat this on the head, but marketing plans and sales plan, creating content and getting it on a schedule is absolutely critical to establishing a following and a brand presence. Reach out scripts, conversion, all of this like I said, I've done for this business here. I've done for many businesses in the past. And these are part of the components that you get with working with me, is the scripts, the mindset, as well as the sales skill set. Sales can be learned. And I teach sales from a servant leadership perspective. That's why I evaluate why you're in business and why you want to do business, because I don't believe that there are any slimy sales tactics if you truly have the intention to help and lead others. Generating revenue. This is your opening, launch plans, and building a following. You are sharing your customer experience, also doing things to drive traffic into your storefront or into your masterclasses. And your testimonials and referral marketing value is coming through. So there's one of my favorite memes, Leonardo DiCaprio. This is one of my favorite. I may have sent to you, some of you, while we've built a relationship over the past few months. But your testimonials and your clients and your Yelp reviews and your Google reviews, all of those things is a result of the hard work after launching your business that will continue to drive traffic and drive customers to your program. So what makes this program different? Moving through another testimonial, many aha moments. I worked in clinical research development most recently in my tenure in healthcare. And I can't share enough I've never been so deep in science, yet so confident in relationship building as a skill set. I worked with Tracy, and she was looking to start a business on the side, but also looking to how she was leaning into her time split. And when I worked with Tracy, she realized that she was being so inefficient in her job or her clinical development role, because she had not been in alignment with who she was and her values. And so the job, it was actually taking more time because of that, like I said, misalignment. And so now she's aligned with a career path, and she's confident and authentic, and building her business in a faith community as well. So wrapping up here, just sharing very transparently, coming to the end of our time together. This program, honestly, guys, I'm so glad that you showed up, that you joined, and that you're invested in self-development. But this program's truly not for you. Like I said, if you're not an action taker, if you don't consider yourself to be a leader, or you aren't serious about making a change, this is a transformation, and this is not a job. I know a lot of phenomenal 5-star raving reviews, career coaches, if you're looking to change jobs or change industries. But this isn't the right program for you if you're looking to change jobs. This is for you if you are ready to free yourself from the self-imposed corporate golden handcuffs, if you want to diversify your income to create a lifetime of stability and opportunity. And I got all of my warm and fuzzies out early, so I will say confidently and calmly, for yourself as well as for your children. If you want to create a life where you feel authentic, passionate about what you do, and make a positive impact in the world. The first step is to apply for a discovery call. Michelle, if you could help me out and put the discovery call link in the comments, that would be really helpful. And we'll talk about your business idea. I can share the components of my program now that you've seen really where I focus and how I help people. You can ask me any question that you like. Please know that I do not accept everyone, and I may not be the coach for you, vice versa. But my goal is to create incredible results with people that are passionate to make an impact in the world. Because if you remember what I aim to do, it is to help the kind people that are making an impact become wealthy individuals outside of corporate America. If you're accepted in the next 10 days, you'll receive over $1,000 in cash and program rebates. And bonus number 2, for the first 7 people who apply to be accepted, will receive an additional 3 months of program access to either coaching package. So I have both a group coaching program as well as a one-on-one coaching program. And I will tell you guys, everyone underestimates the time that it takes to build a new business. So that 3 months is vitally important, and probably the only time that I'll be offering that as a benefit of my program. Let's see here. Stop share. All right. Well, thank you though that you everyone that had a chance to join. I do have, for those of you guys that stayed on, thank you so much. I am doing the free leadership assessment. And it looks like Vanessa, I will send you a follow-up link to both the assessment as well as schedule a call and debrief on your CEO readiness. I appreciate you all coming today. If you have questions, I am free to stay on for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Whew, but I got everybody in, all the information shared, all the goodness for all the future business owners out there that I wanted to share. Namaste. Oh, my video is still on, Liz. Sorry. How did I do that? Okay, we'll see that now. Anyone have any questions? Wow, you're welcome, Vanessa. You're welcome, Susan. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Michelle, glad you were able to join. Contract negotiations. Dawn, physician in the hospital. I can only imagine. I know, like I said, the reimbursement is just insane because it's completely out of your control. You're handed a list of ICD-10 codes and said, meet the budget. Thanks, Kel. Thanks for joining. It was great to have you. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I will be sure to share the recording with those that could make it and the many that I know had other conflicting professional priorities. And I'm wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day and week. Namaste.